Mom, I'm sorry. What? What's that? I'm sorry. Willow, I don't know what you're talking about when you just say sorry. She didn't answer the question and went back to her room. Come to think of it, I didn't ask her why she apologized to me yesterday. But there is no memory or trace of an apology. I was curious, but I didn't ask because she didn't want to say anything further. Time will tell. But at that time, I didn't know it yet. A horrible reality awaits. My name is Amanda and I am a housewife mom. In fact, I'm now 3 months pregnant, and I'm battling morning sickness and chewing on happiness every day. My husband, Daniel, has a daughter who is in the 4th grade with his ex-wife, and we live together. My pregnancy was unexpected, and there were many things to worry about, but I have gradually come to think that the life of the child I have been blessed with is lovely. Willow, my husband's daughter, is also looking forward to the baby being born. My husband and I used to be colleagues at the same company, and I left the company when I became pregnant. My husband lives a lot of business trips and dinners as a section manager. Naturally, I spend a lot of time with my stepdaughter, but we get along very well. When I have morning sickness and it's hard to prepare meals, my stepdaughter is willing to help. I've never had children, so I'm really glad that my daughter is a friendly child. I usually refer to Willow as Willow. She calls my husband Papa and me Mom. In her own way, she must have been conscious of the blood connection. Willow, I'm going to the supermarket to shop. Will you come with me? Yes, I want to go. Do you want anything? It's almost Valentine's Day, so I want to buy ingredients to make chocolate. Willow, do you have a boy you want to give chocolate to? Yes, it's all my friends' chocolate. At the supermarket, I bought ingredients for dinner, and my stepdaughter bought chocolate bars and fresh cream. When I have a lot of luggage, she takes care of me as a pregnant woman and carries it for me. From the outside, we will look like real parents and children. After returning home, I started making pizza. In the early days of morning sickness, the smell of catsup stock was harsh, but I got used to it. Many of the ingredients for pizza are roughly chopped, and she helps out. I'm going to cut the carrots and clean the bath. Thank you. I love to help, so I might become a good wife. Haha. Daddy will cry if you talk like that. Haha. Recently, my favorite thing to do is take a bath. I used to like baths, but after I got pregnant, my body swelled, so I spent more time taking baths. I add my favorite bath salts every day and enjoy it while changing my mood. However, there is one thing that worries me. My husband doesn't seem to think very well of my pregnancy. It's my own child, but maybe men are like that. Or is it because he already has a daughter? In any case, this is my first biological child, so I want to live a comfortable pregnancy. How have you been feeling lately? I'm still a little bit unwell on some days. Morning sickness is convenient, and if you say so, anything is allowed. How can you say that? I'm not lying. It's not like that, but morning sickness is only for women, and it's only for pregnant women. Excuse me, that's how much women are stretched. Men should shut up and work and put money in, and it might be easier that way. can you please stop poking me like that? Lately, especially since I found out I was pregnant, my husband has been in a bad mood. If you look forward to it more, I won't have to worry about it. But I'm glad that my stepdaughter is happy that I'm pregnant. Every day she rubs my belly and talks to my baby. Baby, it's your sister. I don't think this baby heard it yet. You don't know that. I can't wait. Wait another 6 months. I want my husband to be a little more interested in my physical condition and the baby in my belly. However, I don't think it's right to force them to do so, so I believe that parents will become more aware of it over time. Maybe it was like this before Willow was born, and I hear that unlike motherhood, fatherhood comes later. That's what I tell myself. Then, 3 months after I found out I was pregnant. On that day, as usual, I was boiling the bath while preparing dinner. My morning sickness is quite severe, and I still don't feel well every day. At the very least, you want to refresh yourself during bath time. We wait for my husband to come home and sit around the dinner table together. My husband is going on a business trip on schedule until today. In the evening, a chime sounded and my husband returned. After eating, I take a bath in the order of my husband and daughter. I cleaned up after my meal and folded the laundry as I waited for my turn to take a bath. I've just taken a bath. Okay. I do my chores to the best of my ability and head to the dressing room with my pajamas. As soon as I opened the door to the dressing room, I was enveloped in a choking smell. Ugh! I involuntarily covered my mouth with my hand. What is this smell of? Like rotten eggs. When I entered the bathroom, the smell became even stronger. Is this? In the bathtub, there was something that looked like a slightly larger tea bag of black tea. This is the source of the smell. The rotten smell of eggs was due to sulfur bath salts. All the bath salts I buy are floral, but I wonder if my husband prepared these bath salts. The smell of sulfur was quite painful for morning sickness, so I evacuated from the bath in a shorter time than usual. I wondered why he bought bath salts that smelled like this, but maybe they are bath salts that contain authentic hot spring ingredients. I wish he could have told me that. I'll ask my husband tomorrow. When I returned to the living room with that in mind, my daughter, who I thought had already slept, was standing. What's wrong with that, Willow? Mom, I'm sorry. What? That's it, good night. I apologized to her, and she ran back to her bedroom. Why did Willow apologize to me? I didn't know why, but I was a little tired from the bath, so I decided to go to bed. The next morning, I asked my husband about bath salts. Yesterday, the bath smelled awful. Oh, there was a hot spring nearby on a business trip the other day, so I bought bath salts from that hot spring as a souvenir. That's right. I'm sorry, but the smell was so bad that I couldn't stay in the bathtub for long. It's a lot more expensive than the bath salts around there. After all, you can soak in the hot springs from the comfort of your own home. Well, I'm going to warm up a little longer tonight. I was reluctant, but I replied to my husband with concern. I saw off my husband and daughter and decided to lie down for a while. If you don't have morning sickness, your pregnancy won't be bad. While thinking about this, I feel depressed when I think about tonight's bath. I don't really like the smell of sulfur hot springs. I know it's effective, but it's not for everyone. And there's one more thing I'm curious about. Yesterday, after taking a bath, my daughter apologized to me. In the end, I didn't know what she was sorry for. I'll ask Willow when she comes home from school today. Deciding so, I closed my eyes, intending to take a little nap. It seems that he has fallen asleep for a long time. When I woke up, it was already starting to get dark outside. What should I do? I need to get ready for dinner as soon as possible. I didn't have much time, so I decided to use a frozen side dish that I had made beforehand. I hurriedly prepared dinner, and just as it was ready, my husband and daughter came home. My daughter came home while I was sleeping and went to piano lessons. I'm back. Welcome back. It's cabbage rolls today. Wow, I love my mom's cabbage rolls. It's something I made a lot of before and frozen. It's good that housewives can cut corners, and I want to be a woman when I'm reborn. I ignored my rude husband and put the warmed cabbage rolls on a plate. After eating together, while cleaning up, my husband and daughter went to the bath. In our house, there is a tacit understanding that the order of baths is decided by my husband, daughter, and me. After a while, my daughter came back to the living room, wiping her wet hair. Mom, I'm sorry. What? What's that? I'm sorry. Willow, I don't know what you're talking about when you just say sorry. She didn't answer the question and went back to her room. Come to think of it, I didn't ask her why she apologized to me yesterday. But there is no memory or trace of an apology. I was curious, but I didn't ask because I didn't want to say anything further. Time will tell. But at that time, I didn't know it yet. A terrifying reality awaits. After cleaning up, I went to the bathroom to take a bath. When you open the door of the dressing room, also, that sulfur smell wafts in the air. To be honest, I don't like the smell, but my husband bought bath salts for me. I'm going to soak in the bathtub a little longer than I did yesterday. Maybe I'll get used to the smell soon. However, I wonder if it is related to morning sickness, but this smell is still spicy. The smell of rotten eggs seemed to permeate my body, so I got out of the bathtub early on this day. Do they mind this smell? I just don't like it because I'm pregnant. I endured the smell of sulfur and got out of the bath. After that, in order to eliminate the smell of sulfur that wafted in the air, I decided to wipe my whole body with a wet towel even though I had just finished taking a bath. My husband has been kind of cold since I got pregnant. What if this bath salt is also harassing me? Even that thought crossed my mind. The next day. I forgot to tell you, but I'm going on a business trip again tomorrow, and I'm going to Yufuin for 3 nights. Yufuin, haven't you been on many business trips to hot spring resorts lately? It's just a coincidence, I can't help it. Okay, I'll be ready by the end of the day. It's called being cold to me. It's saying I'm going on a business trip to a hot spring resort, and my husband is too suspicious these days. Are you having an affair? Then it all makes sense. Since I became pregnant, my marital life at night has disappeared, and I may not be able to stand it for my husband, who has a strong libido. When you start to doubt it, you start to think that it is. If you don't have anything, that's fine, and I'll have you look it up to make it clearer. I decided to have my husband's behavior investigated at the box office. On that day, I looked for a box office and immediately went to consult with them. I confirmed that it would take about 2 weeks to get the results, and that if I followed the business trip to the destination, the travel expenses would be incurred accordingly. It's ironic that I would use my savings from when I was working for something like this, but I want to live comfortably for my unborn child. I was filled with such thoughts. The next day, even after my husband went on a business trip, my daughter apologized to me every night after taking a bath. "Mom, I'm sorry." "Hey, Willow, can you tell me what you're talking about?" "I can't say that. But I'm really sorry. This isn't what my dad told me." "Aw. What do you mean by what Daddy told you, and what did you tell Daddy to do?" "Anyway, I'm sorry." I asked why my daughter was apologizing, but it remained a mystery. My husband and my daughter are full of things I don't understand. Anyway, I decided to wait for the results of the box office. The next day, after I took a sulfur bath, she apologized. "Mom, I'm sorry." "Willow, you don't have to apologize for anything. But if you can't tell me, can you at least give me some hints?" "Mom, it's hard for me to say I'm sorry to my mom like this. Will you keep it a secret from Daddy?" "Okay, I promise." What she took out of her pocket and held out was the source of that sulfurous hot spring. The sulfur bath salts that she had been putting in her bath recently were put in before she got out of the bath. And it was an instruction from my husband. After I took a bath, I was ordered to put this in. Because I don't like that smell. That may be part of it, but I've heard that sulfur hot springs are not good for pregnant women, and that the bathtub will slip and your mother may fall. What do you mean he doesn't want me to have children? I don't know the details, but only he told me to use bath salts from the hot spring. Did you tell me to keep it a secret from my dad? Yes, I'm really sorry. I'm scared that my dad will be mad at me. I opened my computer and decided to investigate the effects of sulfur springs on pregnant women. It doesn't seem to happen immediately, but it is better to avoid pregnant women because of the strong stimulation. It also said that it was easy to fall because of the slimness. Is my husband trying to keep me from having children? Not only is it irritating and slippery, but I don't like that peculiar smell in the first place. How can you feel uncomfortable in a bath that is supposed to be relaxing? It should not be good for the baby in the belly. But I couldn't blame her. Willow, you've talked a lot, don't worry, I won't tell my dad about this. I'm really sorry, I'm going to stop putting bath salts in it from today. It's okay, if you do that, Willow will be scolded by Daddy. But, Mom, I have an idea. Willow can do as usual. Okay. That night, my daughter got out of the bath and apologized to me. Mom, I'm sorry. It's okay, I'm going to take a bath too. Breathing through my mouth as much as I could, I took a bath. Why would my husband harass me as a pregnant woman? My husband has been particularly sarcastic since I got pregnant. Just because you take a sulfur bath does not mean that you will have a miscarriage. So you simply don't like me. As I pondered my thoughts, I began to feel sick. The eyes also go round and round. There is no strength in the limbs. I finally pressed the call button on the bath remote and asked for help. Mom, what's wrong? My daughter came over right away, but I couldn't stand in the bathtub. Willow, ambulance. I don't really remember what happened after that. The next thing I knew, I was lying in a hospital bed. Mom. This is the hospital. Willow-chan. What's wrong with me? He said you felt dizzy and said you could rest for a while and then go home. So I was thinking about it in the bath, and I ended up taking a long bath. But maybe it's because of the bath salts. I'm really sorry, Mom. It's not for Willow to apologize, it's because Papa instructed Willow to prepare the sulfur hot spring ingredients. But I should have refused. It's okay, I'm sure it's because of the sulfur. It's going to be a great offense. Wounding charges. Mom's got an idea, leave it to me. A few days later, the results of the investigation from the box office were reported. My husband has been having an affair with a colleague since I was pregnant, and he is into her. My husband, who is by no means a dexterous person, probably became annoyed with me as soon as he had an affair partner. It turns out that the fact that there are many business trips is all an affair trip with her. What's more, the cheating partner is pregnant. Father of her baby is my husband. Maybe that's why my husband wanted me to have a miscarriage. He was probably going to break up with me and marry her cheating partner. Armed with documents and photographs from the box office, I filed for divorce mediation. Willow, Mom, I'm thinking of divorcing Daddy. What? It's surprising when people say it out of the blue, but I'm serious. What are you going to do, Willow? Is it because of those bath salts? That's part of it, but Daddy seems to have someone else he likes. I want to follow my mom because my dad gets angry right away and I love my mom. Okay, then I'll let Daddy suffer. Until the divorce was finalized, I decided to stay at my parents' house. My parents love their daughter as if she were their real grandchild. A few months later, the divorce mediation was finally concluded. My husband wanted to divorce me, but he didn't think it would turn out this way. He thought that he was not caught cheating. $50,000 in alimony for infidelity, and $500 per month for child support for daughters. Then, I decided to make him pay an additional $500 for child support for the baby in my belly. Considering my husband's earnings, it is an amount that I can pay sufficiently, but my affair with a colleague was found out by the company and he was fired immediately. Because of that, life will be hard in the future. By the way, as soon as the title of section manager disappeared, the cheating partner moved away. Of course, I also asked her for alimony. And 6 months later, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. My daughter seems to be happy to be a big sister and often helps me take care of the baby. For the time being, I can live on alimony and child support, but I plan to return to work when I find a daycare center. I will give my daughter who followed me and my son who was born healthy despite adversity as